Welcome to semi-final 2 of this year's Royal Banking and Finance Challenge for tertiary institutions. This challenge is aimed at improving financial literacy amongst Ghanaians, and we've already had semi-final 1. 2 teams have already qualified for the final: Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology and the University of Ghana.
The Royal Banking and Finance Challenge 2017 is supported by the Ghana Stock Exchange, SNIT, Chartered Institute of Bankers Ghana, Glycolife, Databank, Everpure, The Finder, TV Africa, GH1 TV, Joy News, Joy Prime and Adom TV, and proudly brought to you by the Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank. Real banking, real difference.
There's a place in my heart that makes me feel that you're the one. It's a place I wanna be, 'cause satisfaction guaranteed. From strength to strength you help me grow, 'cause you're there for me. And teach me how to be independent, 'cause you care for me. It's you.
The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank.
Banking with transparency, commitment to integrity.
The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank. The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank. Real banking, real difference.
From the beginning of time, we've had a natural instinct for growth, for progress, to reach for the skies. On the Ghana Alternate Stock Exchange, it is easier to take your business to the next level. Get listed and make long-term capital today. With less stringent requirements and support from the GAC Support Fund, you can take your business public and reap the endless benefits.
Which 2 schools amongst the 4 gathered up here are going to qualify for the finals? Who is joining them? Who is joining them? Who is joining them? Okay, so let's acquaint ourselves with our competitors, the contestants representing the schools. I'll start with you, University of Education, Winneba, which is represented today by
Awusi Nyala Atiku.
Awusi is here again, and
Samuel Anampansa.
And Samuel is also here with us again. We move over to Methodist University College, represented by
Victoria Kenamo Akwa.
Victoria is here with us, and
Richmond Sam.
And Richmond. We move over to my right, University of Professional Studies, Accra, UPSA, represented by
Sebastian Anam.
And
Helena Ando.
Helena and Sebastian. We move over to Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, represented today by
Precious Otain.
Precious Otain and
Nana Benti Afesi.
Nana Benti. Let's put our hands together for our contestants, who all seem very ready in a very gender-sensitive, contest. Each one of them is paired up properly. Now at this stage, let me introduce you to our consultants for this year's competition.
Mr. K.S. Yamwa, Mr. John Ecosmart, Mr. Francis Owusu Echampo, Mrs. Victoria Gifty Abedu.
So we are ready for action. Round 1. The rules are as follows. Of course, for this second semi-final, there will be 4 rounds of questions, and at the end of the round, the scores will be announced to show progress of each school. The quizmaster will indicate the time and marks allotted to each question. Where required, the quizmaster will also indicate the time and the marks allotted to each bonus question. A round may involve 1 or more sections, and the instructions related to each section in a round will be given by the quizmaster. The quizmaster and all the consultants reserve the right to award less than the maximum number of marks, where they believe that the answer given by a contestant does not fully meet the requirements for correctitude. So if we are ready, I would like to begin this session with true or false. So for the first time in the competition, we have some true or false questions. But it's not as easy as you think. 2 marks for getting the true or false correct, and 3 marks for the explanation. 2 marks for getting it correct, and 3 marks for the explanation. Okay? You have 10 seconds. I'll start with you, Gimpa. Help me with this. Shares of companies with good prospects for strong growth in earnings will usually sell at a relatively high price earnings ratio. Is that true or false?
It's false.
Unfortunately, it's true. Share purchases will be concerned with future profits and will pay a higher price, and thus a higher ratio of price to earnings if there is good prospects for strong growth in the future. So if I'm thinking of that a particular share has a potential of growth, I don't mind the current price. I'll be prepared to pay higher earning share price because I think it has potential for growth, isn't it? So that is the explanation. Let's move on to our friends from University of Professional Studies, UPSC. An increase in the dividend yield will also indicate an increase in the price-earning ratio. True or false?
False.
It's false for 2 marks. Now let's hear your explanation.
Okay, so P or dividend yield measures the growth of dividend, or how much dividend.
Yes, allow. Once you are
yes, how much dividend you are getting, so that you look at the price of the share and then the dividend that is accruing on it. It tells you the relationship between these two. But the price-earning ratio measures the relation between the current price of the share and previous year's earnings. And so, although dividend will depend on the dividend yield will depend on the declared dividend, the price-earning ratio actually depends on how much earnings you are making. So you might get a higher dividend, but not necessarily a higher PE ratio.
Consultant, you can give it to him. Okay, so we'll give it to you now. We move on to Methodist University. The value of a company recorded in this account is known as the net assets. True or false?
True.
Yes, good for 2 marks. And
The net asset is the worth of the company that is actually recorded in the balance sheet.
basically it's true by definition, so we'll give it to you. It's true by definition. It's correct. University of Education, Winneba. The shares in both of Ofuansi Limited and Kokobin Limited trade at Ghana 50 cedis each. This will indicate that the shares in both of these companies are equally risky. True or false?
False.
And that is correct. And why?
Because it doesn't matter the price at which it is trading. It's rather the total shares of each company and then the holders, the number of shares a holder has, that will determine how risky it is or not. Okay, so the price per share tells us nothing about the risk or the value. I'll give it to her. It tells us nothing about the risk. Okay. Then let me start with you this time round. An investor whose priority is to preserve capital will ordinarily find that he must accept lower potential returns on securities appropriate to this objective. True or false? True. It is true for 2 marks. Now, your explanation. Why is it true? Because we know that when investing, the lower the risks, the lower the returns.
The inverse relationship between risk and return. Thank you. So let's move on to Methodist University. Help us with this. No investment is ever completely free of risk. True or false?
True.
It is true. It is true. That will give him 2 marks. Now we'll listen to why he thinks it's true.
It is true because even with the government securities, it even suffers the risk of inflation.
It is possible. That is correct. It is correct. Even guaranteed securities such as treasury bills and treasury bonds are subject to inflation risk. So there's nothing like a truly, yes, consultant.
What I wanted to add is that we shouldn't think that government instruments are completely free. I'm sure in the classrooms that is what we are made to understand. But in reality, even governments default on their instruments. And there are typical examples of Greece, Brazil, Portugal, Argentina. That's what I wanted to add.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we know that there's nothing like a risk-free instrument in practice. It's just that, like he said, we are hoping that it never happens here. So, next question. Is it UPSA? Thank you. Now that we are saying that there's no risk-free instrument, is it possible to avoid risk by not investing?
False.
Well, it is false. We can't avoid it. So what is your explanation?
If you don't invest, because of inflation, the value of your money will still be eroded away. So
thank you very much. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Now let me come to you, Gimpa. Okay. The risk that a limited liability company may be unable to pay interest to bondholders when due is known as interest rate risk. True or false?
It's false.
It is false. Thank you. But your explanation, why is it false? Can you speak into the mic?
Limited liability companies experience default risks when they are unable to.
Default risk is what we're looking for. So by definition, that is actually default risk, okay? That should bring us to the end of round 1. Thank you.
The Royal Ride is our auto loan product, which has the main aim to help you, our customer, or that new customer, to purchase your dream vehicle, upgrade to a newer or bigger version, or actually buy that classic dream car you've always had in mind. Now, the good thing about this product is you get to buy the car, yet pay over a very convenient period of time with a very attractive interest rate. Now, another thing I want you to know about the Royal Ride is you can always come and pay off your loan as at when you have your money. And we make sure we are very fast in processing the loan so that you can begin to ride and cruise in that dream car of your choice. So, if you're a salaried worker looking forward to meeting that dream of yours, I invite you to visit one of our branches and pick a form, talk to our salespeople, and you'll be riding that car. The Royal Bank, real banking, real difference.
At the end of round 1, the scores are Gimpa 5 points, UPSA 10 points, Methodist University 10 points, and University of Education with about 10 points. Now I'll start with you, University of Education Winneba, as we move into round 2. So I'm going to give you a number of options for the questions that follow. Indicate the correct answer or answers as appropriate. You have only one opportunity in 10 seconds to answer correctly, and the question will not be passed on. Okay, so Winneba, good luck. Financial markets promote economic efficiency by doing what? A, channeling funds from investors to savers. B, creating inflation. C, channeling funds to those who have a productive use for them. And D, reducing investment. Which is the correct one?
C, channeling funds to those who have a productive use for them.
That is correct. That is correct. So we move on to Methodist University to my left. A key factor in producing high economic growth is A, eliminating foreign trade, B, well-functioning financial markets, C, high interest rates, and D, stock market volatility. Which is the correct option here?
B, well-functioning financial markets.
Well-functioning financial markets are key to producing high economic growth. UPSC, help me. In this question, there are 2 slots that you need to fill, okay? So I'll give you options. Compared to interest rates on long-term bonds, interest rates on 3-month treasury bills fluctuate. Is it more, more or less? And then the second part, and are lower or higher on average. So you pick which option best fills the 2 spaces.
So B, less and are lower on average.
So you go for B. Unfortunately, the answer is A. So it's more, they fluctuate more and are on the average lower. Thank you. Let's move on to GIMPA. This one also has a double, location. You need to fill 2 holes. The interest rate on long-term corporate bonds, it's lower or higher. Those are the first two options on average than other interest rates. The spread between it and other rates remains constant, fluctuates, remains constant, or fluctuates. So you have 2 options.
A.
It is not A, it's D. Thank you very much. Let me start with you on this one. GIMPA, everything else held constant. A rise in interest rates will cause spending on housing. We're dealing with the demand for housing here to either rise, remain unchanged, either rise, fall, or remain the same, or fall. Okay? When we say we'll cause spending on housing, we're dealing with the demand for housing, buying, especially with mortgage. Rise, remain unchanged. Is what?
D, it will fall.
It will fall. It is D, correct. Thank you very much. We are now back to UPSC. UPSC, are you ready? Okay. High interest rates might discourage or encourage purchasing a house or a car, but at the same time, high interest rates might what? Encourage or discourage savings? UPSC, which is your option? Discourage or encourage in the first slot, and encourage or discourage in the second.
It will discourage purchasing.
So which one is it? A, B, C, or D? A. It's what? A. He goes for A, and that is correct. It discourages purchasing a house or a car, but at the same time, interest rates might encourage savings because people want higher returns on their savings. And so it will encourage savings, okay? Methodist. An increase in interest rates might dash savings because more can be earned in interest income. Methodist University. An increase in interest rates.
B, discourage.
Sorry. A, encourage. So in that case, let me go to University of Education, Winneba. Everything else held constant. An increase in interest rates on student loans. A, may increase the cost of education. B, may reduce the cost of education. C, has no effect on educational costs. And D, increase costs for students with no loans. What is your option? You have one opportunity.
A.
I think the bell went before your answer. So I'm afraid the answer is A, of course, but you don't get it. I'm sorry. Okay? A common stock, A, cannot be purchased by individuals. B, is also known as a debt security. C, is a share of ownership in a corporation. And D, is a claim on asset. C is what?
A share of ownership in a corporation.
That is correct. A share of ownership in a corporation. Thank you. So now Methodist University, this one for you. Similar, in the same area. A share of common stock is a claim on a corporation's what? Is it a corporation's debt, its liabilities, its expenses, or its earnings and assets?
Assets.
I'll take that. It's on its earnings and its assets. I'll give it to you. So we are with you, UPSA. Are you ready? Lower interest rates might cause a corporation to building a new plant that will provide more jobs. Does it cause a corporation to complete, postpone, consider, or start building a new plant that will provide more jobs? Lower interest rates, what does it do?
So C, it might cause the corporation to
consider. They will start thinking about building a new plant because they are looking at expectations, isn't it? Let me come to you, Gimpa. This one too. Let's see what you think. And I'll be very grateful if you give me the correct answer. Bonds of different maturities. A, show no common features. B, have interest rates that tend to move together. C, have interest rates that can differ substantially. And D, B and C only.
C.
Interest rates that can differ. Unfortunately, that is not correct. It's B and C, so that's D, okay? So your question, stock prices are A, relatively stable trending upward at a steady price. B, relatively stable trending downward at a moderate rate. C, extremely volatile. D, unstable trending downward at a moderate rate.
Extremely volatile.
It's extremely volatile. I'll give it to you. So let me come to you, UPSA. We are still on the stock market. This session, we want to see how well we know the stock market, okay? Changes in stock prices. A, do not affect people's wealth and their willingness to spend. B, affect firms' decisions to sell stock to finance investment spending. C, are predictable. And D, are unimportant to decision makers. Which is which?
B, affect firms' decision to sell stock to finance investment spending.
That is correct. It is correct. It is correct. Methodist University. So the options in the first line, a bond or a stock, you have to pick one. It's an example of a security which is a claim on future income or interest, debt, assets, and debt. So which of the options up there best fits the spaces provided? A bond, a stock for the first dash, and then for the second one we have interest, debt, and assets.
A.
So you're suggesting that a bond is an example of a security which is a claim on future income or what? Or interest rate? Sorry. Unfortunately. It's C. Okay? And finally, a financial crisis is what? A. That is to you, Winneba. A financial crisis is what? A. Not possible in the modern financial environment. B. A major disruption in the financial markets. C. A feature of developing economies only. Or D, typically followed by an economic boom.
Major disruption in the financial market.
It's a major disruption in the financial market. That is correct. And that brings us to the end of round 2.
The Royal Bank Student Account is a product by the Royal Bank designed specially for students in the tertiary institution to inculcate the habit of savings. You wouldn't want to run to mom and dad for every little thing after school. We need to show them that we have grown and we can take on some responsibility. You only need 10 cedis to operate such an account. You also get free SMS alerts and a free ATM card. Also, you can use this account to obtain a furniture loan once you secure your first job after school, an Obrasha loan. The Royal Bank, real banking, real difference.
At the end of round 2, the scores are as follows. Gimpa has 15 points. Methodist University Ghana has 20 points. University of Education Winneba has 25 points. And UPSA also have 25 points. Welcome to round 3 of the second semi-finals of the Royal Banking and Finance Challenge 2017. And 2 schools have the chance of qualifying for the finals to join University of Ghana and KNUST. And we are still here. Remember, you can join the conversation, TBRF_challenge on Twitter. So let me start with University of Education Winneba. If a company fails to commence business within 1 year after its incorporation or suspends business for a whole year, what happens to it?
The court would order that it should wind up.
The court will do what?
Would order that it should wind up.
The court will order the winding up of the company. That is correct. Let me come to you, Methodist. What is the effect of a qualified acceptance on a bill of exchange? The effect of a qualified acceptance on a bill of exchange. If there is qualified acceptance, what does it mean?
It will dishonor the bill.
It amounts to dishonor of the bill. That is correct. It amounts to dishonor. For you, UPSA, I'm going to ask you how many crossings may be found on a check, and you need to give me the different types of crossings, okay? So let me listen to you. How many crossings may be found on a check?
So it's 4.
It's 4, and just tell me.
General, special, blank.
Consultants, we award, or because it can be passed on, we pass it on. Let's pass it on. No. Okay, you want to?
I guess we can award them some marks, because if we pass it on, the other person would have very little to
Okay,
add.
so how much of the 5 marks would you award?
Let's give them 3.
3 out of 5. 3 out of 4. Because the answer is 4. There's general, there's special, there's not negotiable, and account payee. Okay, UPSA. Those are some of the options, the numbers you should have given us. Gimpa, are you ready? Thank you. A bank mandate form admitting joint and several liability means what? And you need to be clear. A bank mandate form admitting joint and several liability means what? What can the bank do if the account goes into debit and it needs to recover? Who can he sue?
He will sue the joint partners that signed the mandate.
I want a bit more than that. I want a bit more than that. It's not just about suing the joint.
You will sue them.
No, your time is up. Your time is up, sorry. So I'll pass it on for 3 to Winneba. And you need to be clear. There's a lot that needs to be said. So,
Yes, what it means is that either one or all the members shall be jointly liable for
so what does it mean in terms of suing? Who can they sue?
They can sue all of them, one or all of them.
No. Let me come to you, Methodist University.
It means that the bank can sue one, sue all of them, or some of them.
That is correct. That is correct. That is correct. When you say sue of all of them, it is one part of the answer. It is not all. The bank may sue any of them, a number of them, or all of them together until the whole amount is recovered. Please. Yes.
And to expatiate on that, let us assume Royal Bank has given a loan to 3 parties, and they have jointly signed.
And several.
Yeah, joint and several liability. When there is default, Royal Bank can choose to sue A for the 10,000, or sue A for 2,000, sue B for 3,000, and sue 5 for
different amounts.
Sue C for 5,000, depending on the probability of recovery, and that is at the discretion of the bank.
Yeah. So we need to be very clear about that. When it's joint and several, the bank can pick and choose who he wants to sue because he thinks you are. Some of them are men of straw. When you sue them, you won't get nothing. So you don't even waste your time suing them. So you can pick one that you think you can get and follow him. Or you sue all of them, or you sue some of them. So we wanted to be clear about that. Sorry. In a joint account operated by two persons, when one of them dies, the balance accrues to the benefit of the other. What is this known as?
It's known as the survivorship rule.
The right of survivorship. I'll give it to you. The right of survivorship. Methodist. We are dealing with the companies. Companies. Which section of the Companies Code 1963 Act 179 affords protection to minority interests in a company?
Section 218.
That is correct. Section 218. UPSC, help me with this. One common objective of central bank regulation of banks is for prudential purposes. What is the object of prudential regulation? What are they trying to achieve, or what are they trying to avoid?
The object is to protect the interest of the customers or the depositors.
Yes.
I'm not inclined to.
You are not inclined?
Give.
You want them to be more specific.
Yes.
So I'll move the bonus on. We say to our left, this university.
To protect depositors.
That's exactly what he said. He also said protect depositors. Basically, that's what he's saying. University education.
It's supposed to reduce the risk of deposit funds. That's the customers' funds. Reduce the risk.
Consultants?
This time I would give marks, but not a full.
Because he's entitled to 3. So
he's entitled to 3. I will give 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3. Okay.
The correct answer should be it is to reduce the level of risk to which the bank's stakeholders, and that is a larger set of people, including creditors, depositors, and all. So the best answer to earn the full marks will be to reduce the level of risk to which the bank stakeholders are exposed to.
Okay. And the stakeholders, of course, creditors are also stakeholders. Yours was but we were looking at the level of risk, okay, that they are exposed to. Okay, so let's be a bit more clear. Okay. Now to their own question now. So we dealt with prudential regulation. Let's now deal with systemic risk. One common objective of central bank regulation of banks is for systemic risk reduction purposes. What is the object of this type of regulation? What are they trying to reduce? Systemic risk.
The day-to-day operations of the business.
The
day-to-day operations. Day-to-day operations there.
I'm not inclined, no.
The operations of the bank, how they go about the business, the procedures, the steps.
No, that is not the object of systemic risk. UPSC, you have any ideas?
It's to curb the disruptions in the financial market, financial crisis.
Are you inclined?
Yes, but again, not a full marks.
Not a full marks.
Yes.
Okay, so how much would you give him? How many out of the 3?
He gets 2 out of 3.
He gets 2 out of 3, UPSC.
Let me explain that the correct answer should be the risk of disruption resulting from adverse trading conditions of banks causing multiple or major bank failures.
Yeah.
In other words, a bad bank anywhere is a threat to banks everywhere. When one bank fails, it has rippling effects on other banks. That is essentially what systemic risk is about.
Okay. So thank you very much. Let's quickly round up this section. This one, I'll give you the question. You have, you can give us one of the answers. Then we'll pass it to you. Have 2 opportunities to give us one of the answer, okay, in 10 seconds. And then for 5 marks. When I pass it on, that person also can have 5 marks, okay, because it's their own. So let me start with you. I'll start from the end once again. Gimpa, we are dealing with activities of banks. The permissible activities that banks are allowed to undertake permissible activities that banks are allowed to undertake. Gimpa, can you give me one?
They make payments, bill payments on behalf of their customers.
It's an activity? Yep. Should we? Yes, we'll accept that. We'll accept that. Let's give that. Oh, please, clap for them. UPSA, so consultants will be taken to make sure you don't repeat somebody's answer. Yes?
Lending.
Yeah, lending is they are allowed to lend. Yes. Methodist?
Receiving of deposits from customers.
Yes, it's allowed. Yeah. And University of Education?
Investment.
Investment. They make investments even on behalf of it. There are so many of them. Acceptance of deposits, lending, investment, money transmission, issuing and administering means of payment, including credit cards, guarantees and commitments, trading for their own or customers' accounts, participation in securities, advice to undertakings, the keeping and administration of securities, credit reference services, electronic banking, and safe custody of valuables. Okay, quickly, let me come back again. But this time around, let me start from Winneba, okay? We are dealing with, I have some 4 advantages of using a building property as a security. Can you give me one? 4 advantages, take your time. Building property as a security.
It has a high value.
High value is correct for 5. Methodist University.
It can appreciate over time.
Appreciate in value over time. UPSA.
Transferability. It is easy to transfer.
Really? A building property? I'm not sure. Sorry. And Gimpa.
It's easy to ascertain its value.
The house?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. I love that. It motivates the customer to perform. You know, when you have used your house as security and you know if you don't perform, your children and your properties will be thrown out, you are more tempted to do. And it's a secure form if due processes are followed. And of course, it will appreciate in value over time. It has high value, okay? So these are what the kind of things I was looking for. Let me just deal with financial securities, advantages. Maybe let me start with Gimpa this time. When somebody puts financial securities as their security for a loan, what are the advantages to the banker?
They can gain dividends and capital gain.
The what?
Dividends and capital gain.
Really? It's as a security for a loan. The bank gains capital gains. It's not theirs. Oh. Sorry. Your time is up. Let me go to UPSA.
So it may appreciate in value. It may appreciate over time.
The security, financial security.
It is easily transferable.
That's fine. What about you, Methodist University?
Easy to value.
It's easy to value. I'll accept that.
It is easy to sell.
Easy to sell. Yeah. It's easy to sell. These are all options. The options are easy to sell, easy to take as security, easy to transfer, and in some cases, easy to ascertain value. Especially, for instance, if it's a listed financial security, it's easy to ascertain its value. I think with the indulgence of my consultants, I would like to end this round here. Thank you very much.
Our contact center, which is part of the Operational Business Suite project embarked upon by the company, has become the interface between SNIT and its cherished customers. The contact center provides alternate channel for scheme members, including employers and the public, to make enquiries, lodge complaints, compliment and provide feedbacks. At the contact center, it's our job every day to make every important aspect of the customer experience a little bit better.
We deliver on our promise. SSNIT.
SNIT, we deliver on our promise.
Glycol Group Comprehensive Plan, DGCP. The Glyco Group Comprehensive Plan is an all-encompassing group insurance plan designed to adequately and equitably cover employees or members of an association. The Glyco Group Comprehensive Plan covers you on a 24-hour basis. As an employee of an organization, beneficiaries would be paid an amount equivalent to your annual salary or multiples of your annual salary, or a predetermined lump sum, especially if you belong to an association, in the event of death or permanent disability.
At the end of the third round, the scores are as follows. Gimpa has 20 points. UPSA has 40 points. Methodist University has 48 points. And University of Education Winneba has 52 points. So we now move on to round 4. And this is checkmate. Your bank has approved a facility for 3 individuals with the terms indicated in the table that follows on the next page, okay? But there are some instructions here. The principal payments are made in equal monthly installments. Total annual interest payment is made in equal installments. Interest rate is calculated as the base rate plus a margin. We all know this. The margin, on the other hand, depends on the risk profile of the individual, starting from 3% per annum for the least risky individual with a risk profile of 1. So if you see an individual with risk profile of 1, it means his interest calculation will be base plus what? 3. And then it says that every additional level of risk increases the margin by 1 percentage point. So it means if you move from 1 to 2, the margin goes up by 1 percentage point. All fees are charged upfront before the facility is disbursed. Each loan has a duration of 12 months. And so we are being asked to assume a base rate of 25% per annum. So what do you need to do? We are asking you to calculate for these 3 individuals a certain number of fees and charges and rates and some, okay? AJ borrowed 150,000, Nana 100,000, and Jojo 250,000. AJ is classified as a category 3 risk person, and Nana a category 1 risk person, Jojo category 2. There's a moratorium on some of the loans. So moratorium on interest payment. AJ has no moratorium, so the bank didn't give him any moratorium on interest. Nana has 2 months, and Jojo has 3 months. And there's a commitment fee of 1% on each of the loans. There's a facility fee of 0.5 for AJ, 0.75 for Nana, and 0.5. And then there's a legal fee, which is the same for all of them. It means the bank charged Nana slightly more than. Let's look at the total fees they have to pay in percentage. Total fees that they have to pay in percentage. And then they also have to calculate the amount debited in fees. We said the fees are paid upfront, isn't it? And so the total amount they paid as fees to the bank, even before the bank disbursed the facility. So that's. Then the total annual interest charged. So you know that interest rate that was given to them, base plus something, and you know the principal, the total sum that you were supposed to pay in terms of interest, okay? Not excluding fees, it's just the interest bit. Then the total annual interest sum. So total annual interest charge in percentage, okay? So you have to calculate the total interest that was charged to them, the total annual interest, the monthly principal payments, because we said payments were supposed to pay in equal installments. So we are asking them to calculate the monthly principal payment for each of them. Then the second interest payment for the second month. The interest payment that each of them had to pay in the second month. And then the next one is the principal payment plus interest in month 3. And then the principal payment in month 12. Some of the answers are the same, actually. So it's just a bit, a lot of information. But I think they can do it. These are simple. This is assume simple interest. No compound interest. This is normal interest. Okay? So good luck. 15 minutes.
There's a place in my heart that makes me feel that you're the one. It's a place I wanna be, 'cause satisfaction guaranteed. From strength to strength you help me grow, 'cause you're there for me. And teach me how to be independent, 'cause you care for me. It's you.
The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank.
Banking with transparency, commitment to integrity.
The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank. The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank. Real banking, real difference.
To participate in the Ghana Stock Exchange activities as an investor, one must know the following. Have a stockbroker who is licensed by the Stock Exchange and regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. That you are entitled to dividend at the end of the financial year when profits are realized. Dividends are calculated as interest on your investment, or you are entitled to capital gain if you decide to sell your investment in a particular company listed on the stock exchange. Capital gain is the difference between the price. Capital gain is the difference between the price at which a security is sold and the price at which the security was purchased. Be aware that your broker should be in the position to advise you on the best investment options available. Log on to www.gse.com.gh for more information.
Let's quickly go to the scores that we have here. UPSA, out of 120 points, had 30 points. Methodist University, Ghana, out of 120 points, had 59 points. Gimpa, out of 120 points, had 35 points. And UEW, out of 120 points, had 100 points. At the end of semi-final 2, the scores are as follows. Gimpa had 55 points. UPSA had 70 points. Methodist University, Ghana had 107 points. And UEW, that's University of Education, Winneba, had 152 points. So, it's my singular pleasure to indicate that University of Education, Winneba, and Methodist University, Ghana have all qualified for the final. Congratulations. Winneba, and Methodist University. Better luck next time, UPSA and GIMPA. So ladies and gentlemen, these are your contestants in semi-final 2. Let's give it up for them. So we'll now do the draw for the final. I have 4 of them. Seat number 1 is who? It's UEW. Can I have it? Seat number 2, KNUST. Seat number 3, Methodist University. And seat number 4, Eugene. So Eugene will be at the end.
Hi, my name is Nana Benti Afezi.
And I'm Precious Ating. Our competition just ended, and even though we didn't qualify to the next stage, we are all the same grateful to God, and we are learning. It's a learning process, so we were learning on the go.
Hopefully, we can come back next time stronger and better. We've learned a lot from this, and yeah, we're hoping University of Winneba goes for it. I trust Sami to do the job. They are the underdogs in the competition right now, and I think this is one for the underdogs after today's performance. Thank you to Professor Bonsu and our own Dr. Kennedy for bringing us here, for supporting us throughout the entire venture. Oye and Richard, who've been with us throughout, preparing each day, each night. Our coaches, thank you very much.
My name is Helena Ando, representing UPSA.
Sebastian Nam, and we are back. Unfortunately for us, we didn't go so well. We learned a lot on the stage, and we believe we will go, and next year we'll come back a better team.
Yeah, and so I really learned a lot. As in, it's not because you're going to win, but to learn most of the things that goes on the financial markets and other things. So it's really a learning platform for us, and I'm really, really happy to be part of this competition. Even though I didn't qualify for the finals, I'm really happy.
My name is Victoria Kinamwakwa.
And I'm Richmond Sam.
Representing Methodist University College, Ghana. We just came out from the hall for the semi-finals, and thank God we've made it for the finals. We are so happy. We just want to thank God. We never even expected to get there, but if we are there, we just give praise to God.
In fact, we thank God, and we believe and we know that we'll definitely take the trophy to Methodist University College, Ghana. Thank you.
Okay, hello there. I'm Ausinyala Atiku.
And I'm Samuel Anampansa.
We are representing University of Education, Winneba. And we are so glad we made it this far. It's not been easy, but then God has been faithful. He who promised is truly faithful.
Like she said, it has been God since day one, and it's still God, and it will continue to be God. We thank Him so much. I also want to thank Mr. Gajo, our able lecturer who has been with us, giving us all the support, the guidelines. He has been so great, so wonderful. We bless him. And we are hoping the finals will make it through, and God will grant us victory. Surely and surely, He would grant us victory.
And also to all our friends who helped us through the preparations, to our TAs, and a couple of friends, we say we are very much grateful. And to all those who prepared us for this, directly and indirectly, our parents, everyone, we are so grateful.
Yes, the text messages, those encouraging words, we are so grateful. My roommates, Stephen Osai Dankwa, Stephen Osai Mensa, Michael Owusu, Benedicta, you've been so great. I'm so appreciative. And to my family members, I'm so appreciative. Thank you.
You know I can't mention all your names, so I know you are watching. You are watching. Thank you. Aintree, Kobe, all of you. All of you. I can't even remember the names. My roommates, all of you. Thank you. God bless you.